Hello. This isn't a really serious video or anything like that. It's just a thought. I was trying to think what would be the oldest form of firelighting and how would it progress to today. And then I was wondering, and this is how my mind works, I wondered if fire was responsible for the bow and arrow. Now, yes, I do have a weird mind. This part of a compound bow come about due to a person making cogs, drilling the holes off centre, and then somehow it got to a bow maker and stuff like that. But it started off as an accident. I'm using this bow as an example, A, as a bow, and B, as how something as an accident could lead to something else. I believe it's an American bloke who screwed up the order and drilled the holes off centre and that, but I wouldn't swear to it. Now, first fire, I think, was two stones whacking together. Why? Well, we knew our ancestors were hunters and gatherers, so they must have eaten nuts and bits like that. And the best way to get them open, smack two rocks together. Now, people say things are like 1,000,000 to 1 chance, but you get 10,000 cavemen whacking rocks together, you're going to get somebody picking up, say, a bit of flint, and someone picking up, say, a bit of iron ore, hitting them together, getting a spark. And they could have husks from what they've been eating on the floor and stuff like that, and that spark caused an ember and just carried on from there. That could easily be, I think, a way. Now, the thing to remember is cavemen were heavier and stronger than us, and I think this is an integral part of what happened. Look up their bone structure. Their bones were a lot heavier than us. When you do friction fire, it's weight as well as speed to cause the friction. Now, we pushed down to actually get the extra weight, but don't forget, these were incredibly strong and very heavy boned people. So, alright, that was the first method, I think. And I think it comes out from people whacking rocks together, getting some food. The next method, I think, was fire plough. Or, in some areas, I think it was the fire saw, which is like that. Like that. No, like that, isn't it? Yeah. Now, why do I think this? Well, for the areas with bamboo and that, we know that people use wood as weapons for a very, very long time. They make knives, swords, axes, all sorts of stuff from it. Bamboo's got a very sharp edge, so it's not inconceivable that someone going like this to cut through a fibre got whatever they were cutting through hot enough to show them an ember or smoke. Now you've got to remember that fire would have been either a religious thing or a survival thing, but basically it's a very, very important thing. So if they see smoke coming from something, you can be damn sure they would go out their way to find a way to make that to the next step, which is fire. Now, why the fire plough? Well, we've seen stone found where they've got a groove in where someone's been doing this to sharpen arrow points for wood chipped arrows. If this was a softwood and this was a hardwood, then by doing this to get a point on here like that, wood with their weight and mass, I think, started off a fire plough system. They may also notice that by doing it, they might not notice the smoke or something, but they may have noticed the fire hardened tips when they did this. I don't mean stick it in the fire and it got hit hot and did that. What I mean is, when you're doing a bow drill, one end, which because you're drilling down into, gets a glassy, very hard effect. Now, this would have been very good for them as hunter-gatherers, to have a hardened point on there. So if they're doing this, then I think that started the fire drip plough. But, yeah. I think that is a way it could have happened. Right, so now you've got the fire plough, you're doing this. Now, what could have been next, I think, is the hand drill. The reason being is with their added weight and mass of their arms, and as I said, they did eat a lot of seeds and stuff, but they may have got the idea of seeds in a hole and then just stomping it like that. We know that's the way people broke stuff. So it's also possible people would do it like that, crushing it up, a bit like we use a pestle and mortar type thing. If they did, and they did it in a wooden bowl or something, they might have had burnt bits of seeds and stuff in there and just grinding it up to make cakes. I don't mean cream cakes, I mean charcoal cakes and stuff, fire cakes. So they may have done that. They may have even done it for medicine. We know charcoal is a medicine what's been used for a very long time. So they might have been grinding it up like this and actually cause the heat, to cause the fire. Now, why would this lead to the bow? Well, I think we know that a lot of these sort of people were very community driven. We wouldn't have survived, I don't think, if we weren't. But say someone's got the idea of wrapping a bit of string around here, and then one person pulls the string that way, another person pulls it that way, and this spins round through the string. You need a block to hold this from tipping over. Someone puts something to hold it there, a bit of leather, a bit of wood or whatever. And we get our first sort of drill. It's got the string pulling there and it's spinning round and everything else. Now, when you're doing that, you've got this sort of shape. You could have one person here and one person there, or you could have one person holding his arms apart, pulling it like this. But you've got this sort of shape. And if you add a line to it, you've got a bow. Now say somebody got firewood in or something like that, and they've got a bit of wood with this sort of shape. They say, wait a minute, why don't we just tie the rope here, and we'll do like that. Now, I don't think of this for hunting. All it is something to help speed up the fire. Now, anyone who's done a bow drill has had it where it's ping and gone flying out. I mean, for all we know, the alabaster or siege weapons could have been invented first, before the bows. They weren't called them, they were just called annoyances, or bird catchers. You know, they trap a piece of wood after seeing this effect, put a load of rocks on it and ping it like that to try and bring down a flock of birds. It'd be funny if something we consider a siege weapon come about due to the fact that they wanted to bring a load of birds down and then got rid of the idea. But this ping out effect with a bow and drill, you got them and it pings out, and maybe it happens thousands and thousands of times. But one thing's going to have a point on it at one point, and that's going to hit something. It might not hurt them or whatever, but someone's going to notice it might just stick in the ground. They might be at the beach, it just might stick in the soil. And they think, I wonder if we could get this shaped thing to fire a bit of wood at our food. Especially if there's a lot of tigers, lions, wolves or whatever around. The further away from them you are, the safer you are. So they might wrap it up and then ping it, and it doesn't really do much. Then they put the bow down and someone just drops a piece of wood on it like that. A bit like the guy who found penicillin, who only found it because he didn't eat his sandwiches and the compound bug. Now they put it down like that and they're wondering, oh, I'll pick it up, I wonder And instead of pinging it like that, we could ping it like this. So instead of wrapping it around there to ping the stuff, I put it there, pull it back a bit, pa-ching. And you've now got a bow and arrow invented due to fire. I know there's thousands of holes in this here idea, and I'm just sort of looking at it at a point of view of how could one accident or one thing lead to another. Well, don't take this too seriously, but maybe you can come up with your own ideas how the bow and arrow was invented. Thanks a lot. Bye.